guy, Mr. Will Kacmarek, is going to be joining the program here, and excited to have Will on and talk a little bit about his journey to Ohio State, his journey at Ohio State. We actually had Coach Bailey on, I think 2 weeks ago. Schlegs was the I want to say. Yeah, so Coach Bailey on with us and talked a little bit about the room. But Will, you're a guy that's a St. Louis native. You went to Ohio University for 3 years before coming to Ohio State. Before we even get into any of your time at Ohio State, like being from St. Louis, ending up at Ohio University, how did that transpire? Your journey there and ending up as a Bobcat.
Yeah, so it started out junior year. I was getting looked at by Mizzou. That was kind of where I was kind of thinking where my next step was going to be. But there was a big staff change with Coach Odom there, and that didn't really work out. So I went to and that was like during that COVID season. So there was a lot of cloudiness going on. Not a lot of people knew where they were going and stuff like that. And then my senior year rolled around and got Ohio University as my only full ride offer. So I kind of pulled the trigger there. Awesome decision. I love that place. Had a great 3 years there. And then just kind of worked through the depth chart there. Just got better and better. I was under Coach Metz. Great coach. He's at Charlotte now. He's one of the greatest coaches I've ever had. He kind of got me along up to speed in the college level. And then after that, I thought I could play at the next level, and I just pulled the trigger, went on the portal, and Ohio State liked me. Me and Coach Key had a good relationship, and one thing led to another, and now we're here. So again, it was one of the best decisions I made. So that's kind of my journey.
How did that you obviously you're like, hey, I want to take another step, and then Coach Bailey, younger guy at Ohio State, Cade just happened, right? So he's off.
Yep.
You come in, you got G. Scott, who's also been there. You got some younger guys. What made you choose Ohio State, besides the fact that you went to Ohio and you understood? But you also have this room of great wide receivers, and there's only one football, and you want to run the football. And so tell us how that went into your decision of choosing Ohio State.
Yeah, so again, like you said, like why I made that decision to go in the portal and try to go to a better team, or not better team, but just a larger program. I think it was I just felt it like inside me, man. Like you understand, like just going out there, I feel like I was just dominant on the field, just blocking and stuff like that. I made plays in the pass game too, so I just wanted to kind of like see what my full potential was. And so Coach Key, actually Sam Wiglis is a big name in my recruitment to Ohio State. He was so Coach Bailey and him were super close, and then I was really close with Sam Wiggs when he transferred from Ohio State to Ohio, and we just kind of had that relationship, and we kind of got introduced to each other. And then, I mean, me and Coach Key hit it off. He's a big part of the reason why I came here. We connected pretty smoothly and easily. Like you said, he's a younger guy, so we got along pretty easy. And then, like you said, with Kay leaving, and then G there, I was going to Coach Key's kind of mindset was just me to take the role of what Cade kind of had, more of a physical Y blocking tight end, and then me and G could kind of complement each other and stuff like that.
So one of the things we kind of touched on with Coach Bailey is, he likes to get in there. He's a young dude, likes to mix it up in the weight room, get after you guys at practice. Were you there for the showdown when Schlegs tried to kick him out of the weight room when he was training with you guys?
I don't think I was there yet.
He wasn't there. This was before guys were even in the room, Bob.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I handle my business. I handle my business beforehand because I don't like to make a scene. Now, Sam and the linebacker one was a little different because they were in there, and I just had to, mark my territory. But that goes into a great question of Coach Key's, Bob. And we asked him this, and he talked about like he doesn't even throw you guys the ball. He's like, we don't even have a ball. Like, we're doing individual drills, and it's all about blocking. Because then I'm also getting clips from him. And I got to train you guys, like, predominantly when the 6 months there. But talk a little bit about being fanatical. And, hey, Coach, like, we're doing Indy, and it's outside in the snow, and he's just like, look at my guys. Like, this is what they want. Just talk about that when you have a veteran guy in Cade, and then G's there. You come into the mix. You're new, and again, you could just tell you're a dog because you were getting your vitamins every single day, hitting the striking machines and going into the Austin leg drive and like just doing all these different things. But then you also got Jelani and you got Bennett Christian and, like that dynamic. Like just talk a little bit about Paul's group owning that fanatical mindset to just be as physical of a blocking team as you could be. And then when you're called upon, like you respond in the passing game, just talk about that, how you guys digested that, because I want to catch the ball, right? But
Right.
go to depth, go.
So me and Coach Key kind of made a nickname for us called like paying your taxes. Like you gotta get done. You gotta do the dirty work first before you could, get glorified and catch a little pass in the flat or something. But no, but like stuff like working out in the snow and just like, training, hitting the sled over and over. Like those are those taxes. Those are those things that'll separate you from like other people on the field. Because you could be talented and all that, but if you're not willing to like go all out and try to like put the other guy down across from you, then you're not going to survive out there. So I think just kind of having that baseline of just being like vicious, just gritty and all that, which I think our room is pretty much that. I mean, we showed it last year in the playoffs, every game. So I just think just like it's hard to explain this. I mean, what I'm saying, just trying to get, sorry, I'm blanking.
No, it's okay. You got a St. Louis hat on.
Oh, man,
He's trying to take it to another
man.
level, man. Like one step better every day, 1% better every day. That's what it takes.
But yeah, it's just like like you said, the 1%. Like we're in the OTAs and we're doing board drills with no pads on, and all the other position rooms are just like looking at us crazy. So that kind of just shows how our kind of tight end unit is and what we're all about. So.
What was something when you got here? I mean, the transfer portal now, obviously, Ohio State doesn't take a ton of guys, a handful of guys every year, and it's either there's got to be a great fit or a need. You want to make sure that those guys come in. And obviously, you talk about Sam and the relationship there, and there's a little bit of vouching, I think, when coaches are bringing that in because of the unique culture at Ohio State. But what was, when you got here, first impressions, anything surprise you about maybe how it operated? Because you went to school 70 miles away, but until you're actually in it, like how much were you surprised, or is there anything that I guess you didn't expect, or just kind of frankly didn't think that would be the case?
Yeah, I think honestly the biggest thing for me was the scale of everything. Like going from the equipment we have, the nutrition, the depth. Most importantly, like that was the most crazy thing coming from Ohio to Ohio State. It was just the depth of each room, and like it takes one mistake to maybe lose a spot or get a spot. So stuff like that. And then me personally, I thought I was like strong and in shape. Not that OU had like a bad strength staff. Like my coach down there was just awesome. But coming here and then under Schlegel, like we had some gnarly workouts, like finishing every set to failure. Like I was not used to all that, but
you got strong, man. I mean, lower body wise, like Will is extremely strong, but it was, again,
it was my upper body for sure.
It's like let's get bumpy. Let's put on some size and some strength in your upper body. Yep. And again, everybody's a little bit different. And I want to go now. So you've been into the brotherhood, and the one thing that I really appreciate about this generation of athletes that we have is they just appreciate people's work. Like you came in, you didn't say a lot of things. You just showed that you you're a grinder, you're a competitor. I'm gonna work, right, and I'm gonna encourage. There was no, like you kind of knew where you were, but you did it and threw your weight around, so to speak, in the way that you trained. Now, a year in, and Max comes in, right, and different. That's what I love about your room. There's a lot of different skill set that guys have in there. And hell, Coach Bailey talked about you're in the national championship run, and all 6 of your guys played in every game. And there were times where there was 4 tight ends on the field. How does that dynamic work now that you were a transfer guy and Max comes in, and that dynamic in the room that everybody's obviously competitive excellence fighting for a position, but also still being able to support, uplift, and, applaud everybody's success while also being highly competitive?
Yep. I mean, I think we're the closest room on our team. Like we hang out off the field all the time like that. And just like how I came in, I feel like you gotta gain respect before you could kind of take in a leadership role like that. So that was kind of my first thoughts coming in here, and I think Max did the same. Like at first he was quiet, really didn't put himself out there as much, but the more he showed himself during like workouts and then spring ball, he became more of a leader in a room like that. So, and again, like we're all close in our tight end room. There's not just one guy that's leading everybody. We all have little nuggets that we could throw at everybody. um, just technique and all that, just skill set overall.
What was it like when you first came in with G? He comes in there. He's been a guy that's been in the program, his entire career. You come in as a transfer into the room. And, tight ends you can play. I mean, and Chip was kind of crazy. Most places, it's 11 personnel all day long. You get with Chip, you get some 12, you get some 13, you get 14, 20. I mean, just doing a lot of different things, especially last year. But what was that like? That first relationship and just getting a chance to be around him?
No, it was pretty smooth going into that room. He was open arms. He was welcoming. He was the leader of the room last year, and he just kind of made it run smoothly like that. And then once we kind of figured out what our rules were, like you said, 11, 12, 13, 14 personnel, then we kind of worked with each other, and obviously working on aspects that we may need to work on, like maybe like pass, like route running or pass pro like that, because we're all good and like may lack a little bit in different areas. So I mean, I think G did a great job about kind of just working together and staying close as a unit for sure.
How do you self-evaluate yourself, Will? Because you're that's what I think so many times people don't realize. Oh, and side nugget, everybody, when Bob says 14 personnel, the running back is first, the tight ends are second. So one running back, four tight ends. It's just 23, two running backs, three tight ends, just so you guys understand the personnel that he's talking about. But when you go in there, how do you self-introspect? Is it talking with Coach Bailey and saying like, hey, here's the areas I want to work on in my game. How can I add more value? How can I get on the field more? And then go into like how you guys as a position group go and work on those things both collectively and individually. And what are those for you?
Mm-hmm. So first off, we always grade our effort, and then if you win or lose the rep, if you do your job right, and if you, let's say you're cutting off the C gap and inside zone, did you cut off that player, and did you give full effort? That's first off. That's how we're graded and all that. Then after that, we kind of dive down into like footwork. Was your first step? Did it gain ground? Did you have your hands inside? Was your hat on the right side of the play? And then now down to like personal levels, it's just again film. Like you can see yourself run around and like didn't look that good. Could be crisper. I mean, there's times like especially me, if I get a little tired, then my routes will sometimes kind of dwindle a little bit. That's an area where I need to work on personally. But again, you could always work on everything: pass pro, run block, pass catching, and all that. So I feel like you're always chasing to get better. You're never gonna be perfect. So
Hey, how do you guys in the room self-correct each other without like overcorrecting
yep.
and coaching like with Coach Bailey? Because you got some young guys, but you got guys that are your age too. And are you able to take that feedback? Probably not criticism.
It means
Right.
how you not sensitive, Will. That's what
Right.
he's
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there are so many people in this world, and now and that's why I'm trying to articulate to the people that out there that are watching is you got a highly competitive room with only a certain amount of plays, one football, going grading their effort, critiquing their footwork, and still being able to get criticism and feedback, both positive and negative, from a peer that you're also competing against.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen. How do you guys do that?
I just think I think it starts with Coach Bailey. He's so brutally honest with every rep. Like you'll rarely get a good job or a smiley face. He'll sometimes do. So I think we're just so used to just receiving the criticism where it rubs off on us, and a lot of it's on the field. Like we'll see a rep and be like, that's not it. Like redo it. Like you did not give full effort. So like there's a lot of stuff like that, and then like it's more after the workouts or the OTAs where we'll kind of nitpick footwork and all that. But when we're in the heat of like a meeting or in a drill or something, it's mainly just effort. And if we think you could do it better, we'll redo the rep and stuff like that. So I think it all starts with Coach Bailey and how he runs his meetings.